You guys, welcome back. Sorry I haven't been uploading lately. Life kind of got in the way. There's been crazy forest fires around here. The smoke has been so bad. There's been air quality warnings every day. I haven't really touched the Ranger a little bit. I did finally get parts for this thing, kind of, somewhat, sorta. I got some of the parts, still waiting on the steering rack. But the main reason I haven't really been doing anything is this guy over here. Kind of been putting all my time into this thing, rewired the entire thing, new lights on the outside, working on new lights on the inside, new subfloor laid. Gonna be doing the flooring here soon. We do have a kind of a decent sized camping trip coming up. Actually, we leave 5 days from the time that this is uploaded, but this thing's not coming with us. I made a decision last week. I'm going to pick up a new camper tomorrow. It'll actually be bigger than that, bigger and newer, and zero work. I don't have to do anything. I'm just gonna hook up to it and go. So the point of that today, we're actually installing the Ford trailer brake controller kit in my 2019 Ranger. So yeah, that's what we're going to work on today. It's not a plug and play kit. Just looking at this kit, it looks a little bit difficult, but I don't think it is. So this looks like the wiring harnesses. I know I have to splice these two wires into the truck. There's a ground that I have to bolt to the truck, and there's probably another splice or two that has to be made. The downfall that sucks is with this kit, and I don't know why they do it, you have to run a wire from the two modules that go behind this panel here, down along the kick panel, through the B pillar, sorry again for the mess, through underneath here, up the C pillar, and up to the third brake light. They do give you a harness with the pigtails to basically tie in a T connector. This here, it is Redarc. The Redarc TowPro, but it is Ford branded. And the reason I went with the Ford branded one is because the adaptive cruise and the emergency braking on this truck. If you don't go with the Ford one, apparently if the emergency braking system activates, it won't activate the trailer brakes. So with the new trailer that I'm picking up, having trailer brakes, and if there happens to be a situation where the emergency braking does come on, I don't want to lose control of the trailer. The other main piece of this is the little tiny switch. This controls your gain on the trailer brakes, and I believe if you press it, because it does have a clicking feature, that engages the brakes also. This is the harness for this. Comes with a little thing that the trailer brake switch plugs into. That's another module, I'm assuming, to integrate into the brakes, into the trailer brakes with the emergency braking system. And obviously the instruction manual, which, just kidding, I am actually going to use the instructions for this thing. Now, we are going to get to installing this kit.
Ay, ay. Baby, wanna fuck with the boy for the one time. Okay, maybe one time. Roll it up and hit it for me one time. Cruise around the city, ducking one time. Shorty wanna whip with the boy in a free time. Make a little weed time. I ain't worried, baby, we gon' be fine.
So this truck come with two 12-volt plugins. I thought maybe, this would work really sweet to remove one of these. Who needs two 12 volts right in front of them? It's also got another 12 volt in the back of the center console. I don't need all of those 12 volts, so I thought maybe I could take this trailer brake trim piece and then install it nicely where the 112 volt was closer to the driver's side so that I have optimal control of the trailer brakes. The trim piece didn't fit in the hole nicely. I didn't like the way it looked. So I'm gonna put it right about there. Easily in reach of me. I don't have to worry about anything hitting it. The shifter's right here, so it's protected. The instructions came with a template somewhere. It looks like that. I'm just gonna cut it out, tape it onto here, so it fits nice. Start drilling holes.
Roll it up and hit it for me one time. Cruise around the city, ducking one time. Shorty wanna whip with the boy in a free time. Make a little weed time. I ain't worried, baby, we gon' be fine. Riding like we never heard a street sign. I'm a great catch, baby, better act right. Get the digits, hit it that night. And I shine like a star, he a flashlight.
The trailer brake trim piece installed. There was a little bit of modification that I had to do back here. So all you do is you pull the button off of the switch, take the back part of it. I don't actually know how this works. Hold on. Okay, so I figured it out. There's a nut that's clear and it holds the switch into the fascia piece. All I did was took a 13 mil, or sorry, it's a 12 mil socket. I just took it and tightened it down with my fingers, and then kind of take it and press the button back on the plate into place. So 0 to 10. And then you take the whole thing and you pop it into place right where you want it. Now I'm gonna go put this back in the truck. Actually, no, sorry. I'm gonna run the wire for the switch first. Okay, so just so you guys know, for anybody that's looking to install this kit, this wire is not intended to go up into this area, but it does actually route very nicely underneath here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a dash bracket piece right here in this gap. You run it behind and the connector will just kind of come up into the knee bolster where you're supposed to install the modules to. Ford actually wants you to install that button right here. I mean, it's kind of pushed in, but it is also a handle to pull your fuse panel down. And the more often your wires go up and down, the more fatigue they see, and it's just not good for wires to be moving all the time. You got one spot that's solid mounted over here. Run your wire along the back. I think that's your best option. Okay, so it did just run into an issue. You probably won't be able to see it. In this hole where the trailer brake fascia goes, there's a bracket for the shifter. So I guess that'll need to be modified to actually allow this to sit here. I thought maybe when I took this apart that would give me an issue, and yep, it's definitely giving me an issue. I'm gonna pull this back out and clearance that. Okay guys, so here we go. I do have the switch installed. I have the knee panels out of the way. There's that metal bracket that comes up here. That's off. I'm gonna be able to install the modules onto it. I've given myself access. I removed the panel here. The ground is going to go here with the factory ground, and then the third brake light wires are going to run along the trough, passed through the B pillar. I didn't remove it all the way, but I did just tuck it out of the way so that I could get the wires out. Come up around here through the trough again, up the C pillar. In behind here there's a panel that I did take off here. The seatbelt bolt needs to come out, and then run it up along the headliner. That connector that's right there, that is right behind the third brake light, which I have the back window open so that I can access these connectors. I'll just work in the box and access these connectors. That's going to be installing the third brake light wire. So that was pretty super simple. The harness comes all as one assembly. It's all taped up. The thin section of wire, it's really thin, just runs along the trough up the C pillar. The kit comes with a pile of zip ties. I still obviously have to cut the tails off, but it's all secured up and teed into that connector. Now, the connectors don't actually come pre-terminated so that you can run the wire really easily, but the instructions are super clear. The one side is female, the other side is male, and it tells you what terminals to put them in. I'm gonna mount the modules to the bracket, put the bracket back into place, then I think zip tie everything up. Okay, also, this harness, there are 2 wires that actually need to be spliced into the truck, yellow and blue. They come with the sheathing already slipped up, so you know that these 2 are the 2 wires that you have to tie into the truck. My truck's a tiny little bit different because I built my own switch panel setup for all my accessory lighting. So underneath here, I have this fuse panel / relay panel. It's a little bit of a rat's nest. When I take the dash out of this truck, I will clean it up. Right in this area beside the brake pedal, behind the battery junction box, beside this big white connector, I think you can see it, there will be 2 wires, blue and yellow, and they'll be heat shrink to not allow any kind of contamination to the wires, and they're just kind of taped up. So all I did was I kind of grabbed them. I seen them, I just grabbed them and I pulled, and they just kind of slipped out of whatever harness they were taped to or zip tied to. And these are the 2 wires that you're going to want to attach these 2 wires to. So yeah, I'm going to attach those right now. Attach this ground to here, and then I will run these 2 connectors up behind here, and they'll plug into the modules that get stuck behind this dash. And then this plug-in, which comes from the trailer brake switch, just plugs into one of the other modules. All in all, pretty simple install. I've heard of guys on the forums, on Facebook, oh, my dealer took 6 hours, 8 hours. I mean, yeah, I'm not rushing this, but I'm not being extremely slow either and tedious. But 6 to 8 hours in a dealership level, that seems a little excessive. It shouldn't take that long. This is just to show you guys that I'm outside, I'm in the sun, and this can be done fairly easily by yourself with minimal hand tools. I think I've used an 8mm, 12mm, and other than a trim panel removal tool and a drill. Also, the kit does come with these 2 heat shrink solder tubing joints. I've heard really good things about these. It's nice that Ford supplies something that will seal the wires once they're done being connected. I do really appreciate it. The one thing that I've found using them, me myself personally, I don't know if it's the tools that I'm using to install them or what it is, but I've never had any luck using these things. I heard it's really nice to have an adjustable temperature heat gun to use them. I'm not going to use them. I have a wire splice shrink tubing kit. Again, Ford, comes with 5 pieces of heat shrink, and this one is the larger size crimp barrel tools. I much prefer a mechanical crimp over solder. I always have. I've never been one to be able to solder well, and I know with my tooling I can make a good mechanical crimp. And the Motorcraft heat shrink is dual wall with an adhesive lined inner. So once it gets up to proper temperature, it actually oozes glue out and it becomes a sealed connection. If you don't want to spend the extra money for it, you can use the solder joint connectors. As you can see, this is the bracket from the driver's knee bolster that would bolt into the driver's knee, kind of somewhat facing like this. So what we're doing is we're working on the back side of this thing, and because it's the back side, it's going to be reversed from the instructions. So on the back side of this, you're wanting to take this Redarc Tow Pro and mount it like so, and the Lumens kit also like so. They do come with these sticky pads to stick them here, and then you also get 4 extremely long zip ties to wrap around to make sure that they stay in place. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, mount this thing back in the truck and plug everything in. All the panels back up. I gotta tuck up some wires, zip tie, put all this stuff back together. I do want to show you though that this does work. I don't have anything with trailer brakes, and I don't have my trailer tow connector tester here at home with me. If you press and hold, you can see that the light flashes. So that's actually meaning your trailer brakes are engaging. So I have everything wired properly. If I didn't have it wired properly, that wouldn't light up. That's this episode of Roofless Garage. We will see you next week.